Hello. I just finished the implementation of project 2, and I'm going to give you a presentation about what I implemented. So this is a graphic view of what I did. For the region, we have US West 1. I think it located in North California, and our headquarters is in California. So this is a closer location. I think it can help to lower the latency. So inside the region, we have two availability zones, US West 1B and US West 1C. In each of the availability zone, we have public subnet and private subnet. For the public subnet, it has direct access to the internet gateway. And for the private subnet, it's gonna use the net gateway to access to the internet. So these two public subnet has the same route table, and but for each private subnet, they have their own route table to route to the net gateway, so that anything happen to one region, the other region can still work. So it shows the high availability of this system. So I'm going to show you the VPC in the AWS. So this is a VPC I created, Go Green. It has this IPv4, and we can notice like for each subnet, this IPv4 is different from here to here. Yeah. So we're gonna take a look at subnet. So we have 4 subnet: public subnet 1, private subnet 1, public 2, private 2. So public 1 and private 1, they are both at this region. So US West 1B. Yeah. And we can take a look at the route table they have. So for all the internet access, they go to the internet gateway. So that's public. And for private, they go to this net gateway. And we can see that private subnet 2, the ID is different, although they all go to a net gateway. Yeah. So we can take a look at the net gateway. There's 2, one for each availability zone. And route table, we have public route table. So yeah, it's go to the internet gateway, and two private route table go to 2 different net gateway. Okay, that's the VPC, I think. Okay, so in the private subnet, we have 3 level. So we have web tier instance, application tier instance, and database tier instance. So each of them has their own auto scaling group and the application load balancer. So this gonna related to this load balancer related to the application tier. This load balancer related to the database tier. So this application load balancer is connected to the internet, but all the other, these 2, they are internal for internal use. And yeah, we're gonna take a look in the EC2 instance. So right now it has 7 running, I think. So these are all automatically created by the auto scaling group. I think some of them is terminated because we don't have much traffic here. So it just reduced to 1 for application tier, and 2 for database, and a few for web tier. So instance here are all T3 median, because this is a sandbox environment. I cannot create something expensive. So, but for the requirement, I should follow 2 CPU, 4 GB, and some of other for application tier, it should use a bigger CPU and bigger memory. But I cannot do it here, so it's all T3 median. And we can see that for example, web tier, they are located in different availability zone. Similar for database tier and app tier. So they are all in the 2 availability zone. And for each of them, they associate to the different security group, as we can see from the graph. So we have different security group. I didn't change the name here, but web tier security room is different than the application tier security group, because web tier security group can talk to outside of the wall. Also, application tier can talk to web tier and database tier. Database tier can only talk to the application tier. So we're gonna see how it's different in the security group. So in security group, we have this tree is what I created. So we're gonna look starting from web tier security group. So it accepts traffic from outside of the world, and it also accepts traffic from application tier. Yeah, because it can talk to the application tier. And application tier can talk to web tier and database tier. So we can see that the rules shows that they are talking to the security group. For the database tier, it can talk to the application tier. So it also shows here. Okay, then we're gonna look at the load balancer. As shown in the graph, we have 3 load balancer. And yeah, so it's 3 here, and they can divide the traffic to the 2 availability zone, shows here. Yeah, so for the application tier, we can see it's for internal use. Database tier also for internal use. So web tier is for internet facing. And for web tier, it's located at the public subnet, I believe. So this 2 should be the public subnet. And for database tier and application tier, I think they're located in private subnet. Target groups, there's also 3, 1 for each tier. And for auto scaling group, we also have 3. So web tier auto scaling group, design capacity, minimum, maximum. So it also take a look at the health checks. Load balancer is the web tier load balancer. Yeah. So database tier, they have slightly different configuration. It's associated to the database tier configuration. And it's similar for application tier. It's just for different group. Yeah. And for the extra thing, for the optional implementation, I did SNS and CloudWatch. So SNS, this is the SNS. I have the topic here, web tier topic. It just it's a simple example. It will use with the CloudWatch. In the CloudWatch, I set up alarm for web tier application if web tier CPU alarm. So if the CPU utilization is greater than 75, within 5 minutes, it's gonna signal the SNS. And for the SNS, it's gonna send email to this address to notify me that the CPU is very high. And the similar setting is also in the auto scaling group. So in the policy, they also have so if the yeah, it's also in the policy that if it's greater than 75, it's gonna auto scale it. Yeah. Okay. I think the sandbox is already expired, so that's my presentation today. Yeah. Thank you.